Yo, what's up guys, it's ZAQQ. Today we're going to be talking about the Loki fit which I've been using in the Drone Lands series. So this is episode 4 and it's going to be the final one for the Loki for a little bit I think. Obviously I've been spamming the vids out with it and we're going to move on to something else, probably the Tengu next I think. A lot of people, you guys, like them. So it's not really anything fantastic to go through, to be honest. I mean, I've been through a lot of it on the actual videos themselves going over, but we'll have a look at it in the list view. We'll talk about the subsystem choices for those guys who aren't really up to speed on the way the tech freeze works. So if you're an older player and you've been like using Lokis for ages, then you can probably skip this bit and we'll jump into a little bit of action maybe at the end. So the whole point of this fit, I got it from Eridan, which is a friend of mine who chills in my chat. He does a lot of blopsing and stuff, really cool guy, but him and his friends use this fit, albeit a little bit cheaper with a Tech 2 large shield booster, to do combat sites and nullsec. So I was like, alright, and if you guys are sub to Ace as well, he put a video up of the actual run when we did that, although we didn't find any combat sites, which pretty much sucked. So, but this is basically Eridan's fit, so I'm going to give him all the credit for this, and I just used it, yeah. I mean, the only thing I changed was I put a bit more tank on it with the Pith B large shield booster. It wasn't that expensive, to be fair. Let's just double check the price real quick. 130 mil, I think that's acceptable for a good shield booster, right? Obviously, you can go more expensive, but the fit is super tight. So yeah, let's just go through, guys. So the basic premise is we're going to be covert ops fit, so we can sneak around nullsec in the different regions. And we've got our travel stuff on, so we've got the Interdiction Nullifier, which we can swap out as we do the sites, as you've seen in the drone stuff, where we're switching to a salvager just to salvage those sentient ships. So there's a bit of the flex there. So when this is online, and obviously not active or whatever, just online, your targeting range is like halved, and also your targeting speed. So you've just got to bear in mind that even when it's on, but offline, if that makes sense. If it's just like a non-module on your ship, you're going to get those nerfs. So you can still run sites with this, but just bear in mind that range, right? Because these missiles can shoot out to like 34 with a T2, and I think 40 on the top end with a Caldari, which we'll go through in a sec. So yeah, just bear in mind if you want to use this, because we do switch it out again. But it's definitely needed for the initial like warp into null, yeah, if you're eating or whatever, or just scouting around for sites. So we'll come back to this extender in a sec. So we've got the Multispectrum shield hardener, which is really cool. Now, one of the good things versus the Tengu the Loki has is a good balance of resistance on the shields. And with that on, so with it off, it's just like, so the Tengu's got basically no resistance in EM. That's the big Caldari hole. I wish they would like fix that a little bit, because it's getting a little bit annoying as the game goes on, especially with the kinetic lock, right? But it is what it is. So that's why I feel like the Loki it's sort of got the edge on the Tengu for just like randomly jumping around null. If you're aiming just to go north, then obviously take the Tengu, because you're tanked up for that and you've got the damage for those rats. But the Loki is just more of a general purpose. Go wherever you want and do whatever sites you want, pretty much. Like, obviously, if you can tank it within reason. I mean, you won't be doing any like 10-10s or whatever with this, but you can certainly do, like you see in the drone land sites, pretty comfortably. We've got the Afterburner on, because that mitigates quite a lot of damage, and we don't really need a might warp driver, though we can flex that in a sec, which I'll show you guys. We've got the standard cap batteries. The Republic fleet gives tons of cap and everything, so we're pretty much stable with all this running, which is nice. So the two flex items in this fit for me are the large shield extender. I know a lot of people don't like running active tank with buffer, but I feel like it certainly helps a little bit on the Loki. So we're down to 3.7k HP, like with that off. And we've got the extender as well, so we'll just switch those both off, like near 3k. And there is some Caldari sites up north that do, I think it's a 710 I believe, and there's a station that like unleashes huge smart bombs, and it does like 6k damage. So with those resistances, I mean, you're going to be like probably past your shield HP, and you might get like alpha through. I think it'd be alright, but I mean, I wouldn't like to actually test that and lose a Loki needlessly, right? So if you're going to be doing those kind of sites, then I would recommend leaving like the field extender and that on. So it's just up to you, but if you're going for like dedicated sites, then I would get rid of that, get rid of this, maybe put like another invul on, or a boost amp if you can fit it. The CPU is like pretty tight anyway, but these two slots are like the total flex slots in my opinion, so you guys can put whatever you like in there. Again, if you're an older player or you've been using the Loki like quite a lot, I'm sure everyone's got their own play style, and again, there's a million ways to fit ships and Eve, but this is just the one I've been using from Eridan, and it's worked out absolutely perfect. In the low slots, we've got 3 ballistic control systems and 1 guidance enhancer. Again, the guidance enhancer could be a flex for a damage control or something if you're a little bit more worried about your tank or whatever. So a bit of flex there, or you could take off a ballistic control. The damage is actually pretty nice, so we've got 870.3, we've got no implants on, whatever for damage or nothing like that. And the cool thing about the Loki versus the Tengu again is that it's not kinetic locked, so it does like a ton of damage with all damage types. And I mean the Tengu is still pretty respective, but it really needs that kinetic to do all the damage, which makes it better than this for certain things. So yeah, just like really cool. I really enjoy it. We've already been through the rigs. So in the other 2 rig slots, we've got the hydraulic bay thrusters and the fuel cache, which give us like the crazy range on this. It's a standard thing, I feel like, on the Loki, having some like range in the rigs for the hams, because especially if you're PvP fit, you've got like the long range webs to go with it from the immobility drivers. So that makes sense from a PvP point as well. So yeah, just range and tank in the mids. And pretty self-explanatory, just a basic covert reconfiguration for the cloak, so we can scoot around nullsec. Launcher efficiency for the hams, the wake limiter for the afterburner velocity bonus, so the faster we go with the afterburner, the more damage we're going to mitigate. And the augmented nuclear reactor, and that gives us this slot layout, which is really nice for the Loki. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I don't really want to waste too much time going over it because, like I say, we've talked about it quite a lot in the other videos and stuff, but yeah, other than these flex slots, I'd probably say this, maybe a ballistic control. I mean, the guidance enhancer is nice because we get range with that as well. You could mess around like more tank or whatnot, or I mean, you could even go like dual prop or something, like might warp drive would be nice for burning batter gates if you got stuck like in a bubble and you didn't have this active. The only other thing to go through, guys, is what I carry in the Loki itself. Alright guys, so we've got some nanite paste for repairs, we've got probes for a probe launcher, I forgot to mention that actually in the fitting thing. We've got the noise needle jacks. Now the noise and the signal that just tend to take us like to the same sort of places, but the noise is supposed to take it to the more quieter space, which is cool, so probably a couple of jumps from there you'll find some of them. And if you're not familiar with the filaments, basically what you do, this will just jump you into nullsec straight away into some quietish space, and most of the time I do end up in the drone lands, hence why we've got salvage already there. The only other couple of things I don't really carry around is the data and relic analyzers, so that's always a good thing to carry as well. And we've got one mobile depot just to switch out our Interdictor nullifier and also the salvager and your relic and data things. We've got with drugs, so we take these two and we're going to get a pretty big boost to our actual tank, which is nice. And we've got with border and with proximity to actually get out of nullsec as well. One thing, I mean, it is pretty common, but if you're a newer player, so what we're going to do, we're going to carry all of our ammo in here, and if you notice, we've got 390 M3s worth of space in this can. And then if I just show you the actual attributes, 325, so we're actually gaining more space than what we've actually got. So it's sort of like Tarkov and things where you put like a backpack and a backpack and a backpack and you just end up with like tons of room. So when you're exploring for quite a long time or doing combat runs, you're going to fill up, right? And we haven't really got much space here. So you can, whatever ammo you use is just going to give you more space as you play. So that's where we can put some extra loot in here or whatever we'll loot on the way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Drones, obviously, personal pref, you can use ECM or whatever. That's probably a good choice actually. Or just take some combats like I do. And whatever spare subsystems you want to do. That's a really cool thing with the tech freeze now. You can chuck spare subsystems in. I mean, that's been a thing for a while, but it's really nice. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. The Loki's been very fun. I really do appreciate everybody's feedback on these Droneland vids, especially with having the cinematics on. I feel like it's like 5 years ago when I was making all the dank cinematics for you guys and you really enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks so much, guys, and I will see you in the next one.